Alright, this is going to be about Masonic college fraternities. Um, these are basically just these brotherhoods in colleges or whatever, and they're a lot of the times they have like overt Masonic symbolism in their emblems and their symbols. They're like the Greek letter societies. Uh, and I mean, they're obviously like Masonic, but um, even if they're not Masonic, they're like recruitment centers for Masonic bodies, and the whole basis of where the fraternities came from was from Freemasonic organizations. So I mean, there's not really any argument there as far as I can tell. Uh, Here's some crests just on a Google image search. And you can see like a lot of them have the eye and uh, all sorts of things. But anyways, all I've really been doing is you pick like one of the fraternities. Like this one is Kappa Sigma, and usually on their Wikipedia pages you can go down to like a notable members section, and like sometimes there'll be a special page just for the members, and they have like government, entertainment, business, journalism, sports, military, etc. Um, so like you can see, who these people are. They're all in these brotherhoods. A lot of these times, these fraternities are like linked together across the country. So they're all in this sort of like it's basically international, like this international brotherhood, and they have all these separate branches. They all network together and everything. Um, Basically, like if you see someone on TV or in a movie or like popular music or popular books, any kind of media that's popular or mainstream, uh, like, geez, I'd say like probably at least 19 out of 20 times you're going to find that they came from one of these occult fraternities. And yeah, I mean they're this is all Masonic stuff. They all like swear oaths and they have secrets and they flash their little gang signs and hand signals at each other, and they're all basically in the club, and that's where all your entertainment's coming from, like since you were born, since you're for generations now. So here's like Freemasonry. You can see, they have all their little symbols, their stars, their triangles, cross swords, roses, animal heads, square and compass, all these little crests and stuff like that. So I'm just going to go through. Well, here's another symbol thing. Um, Birds, they love like the phoenix, Maltese crosses, uh, double-headed eagle, crescents, stars, inverted pentagrams, skull and crossbones, um, crowns. All sorts of stuff. Anyways, I just chose like a handful of these fraternities, and just went through. I just focused just on the entertainment. Oh crap! Just on the entertainment section. So this, and I just picked the people that I had heard of that were an influence on me when I grew up. So I just ignored everyone I hadn't heard of. So I mean, there's a lot more people in this, but I'm just gonna skim through them real quick. Just to give you an idea, of how like all of media just comes out of these occult groups. All right, so anyways, we got Beta Theta Pi, and they've got, a dragon, of course. That's like Satan, I guess. I can only assume. So you got the founder of People Magazine. Uh, you got Richard Karn. He was Al Borland on Home Improvement. I watch that show like all the time. He's making this little uh, 666 sign there. He's a star of Family Feud now. It's funny too. I was watching a clip of that show, and if you watch like the families, they shake each other's hands when they walk up to the podium there, and that you can see them doing a Masonic grip like every time. Like everyone who goes on all these game shows that you've always watched, like they're all in a Masonic brotherhood or sisterhood. So, anyways, Jeffrey Jones, he was the principal in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Um, the creators of Super Troopers and the actors, they're like this group called like the Broken Lizards or something, and they make all these really stupid, degrading movies. That's the thing too. All this entertainment, it's like all really um, morally degrading. Like it's terrible stuff. People just think it's funny now because they've grown up around it their whole lives. But that was just a small sample from there. Here's Phi Kappa Psi, and you can see in their emblem they got the eye of Lucifer right there, so you're dealing with a Masonic body there. They love their lighted lamps too. They love that light, the light of Lucifer. That's like the light they see when they take off the blindfold or whatever, and that they're initiated into. Just yeah. So here we got Zach Braff. He's that dude on Scrubs, and well, that's like a light there, I guess. That's kind of funny. This guy's from another fraternity that I'll look at later, but he's doing the 666 right there. So these guys are buddies. Roy Scheider, guy in Jaws. This guy Grant Heslov, he's been in a ton of movies. And yeah, they all give each other awards, of course. Like if you're in one of these groups, then you're gonna be given awards, basically. That's that's all it is. It's just all a stage, just all a pageant. Like there's no these people aren't really competing with each other. They're all just like um, who's the best initiate, basically, who's done the most service for the Brotherhood, and then they get moved up. Um, Here we have Psi Upsilon, and they're really big on this owl, this Bohemian Grove owl. They've got these other freaky creatures here. And the Masonic handshake in the middle there. It's hard to see on that image, but so obviously that's an owl on the Roman fasci too. So you're dealing with, this is an occult group, Masonic group, and here's just some funny owl. This is like a Bohemian club party, and they have these owl idols everywhere. Like I can't even get in the mind of someone that like wants to hang around statues of owls. Like it's just so stupid and creepy. But I mean, these people are just like given over to the world. Like they draw their power from this kind of stuff. This is what people did, when you're reading like the Old Testament. People just build these idols, and they draw their power out of these symbols, like because they believe in them. And it's just this thing you do, and it doesn't make any sense to me because I'm not initiated into that way of thinking. Um, but yeah, it's just creepy. This guy's doing the horns here, the 666 horns. And yeah, all these people are Luciferians. But anyways, back to Psi Upsilon. You got Dan Brown. He came out of there, and you can see he's doing this creepy little like one eye picture here, and then he's doing the 666 horns there. You know, they're they the stuff comes off as pretty subtle sometimes, but I mean, like that's obvious. That's kind of in your face. So Dan Brown did the Da Vinci Code, which is of course, what a surprise. It's like a national bestseller. I wonder if that has anything to do with him being from this Masonic organization. And oh yeah, I'm sure most of you have probably seen this. Here's the owl and the dollar bill hiding in the corner here. A little owl. That's this Bohemian Club owl. It's just like these people. It's just ridiculous. They're just enmeshed like in every facet of society. It's just a joke. Then you got Michael Bay in Psi Upsilon. He's doing the 666 horns there. And you'll always see like a pyramid. They love showing off these pyramids, and this is in Transformers. Um, yeah, they just got to give glory to the light at the top of the pyramid there. It's such a joke. And that's a funny picture I found with Michael Bay and Bruce Willis and George Bush Sr. So, what do you know? Anyways, go back to the top here. And here's Phi Gamma Delta. And hey, they got an owl too there. So, you know, a Bohemian Grove owl. Then they got these roses here. It's probably like a Rosicrucian type thing. They're stars. Look at this. You got Johnny Cash. I mean, Johnny Cash. Johnny Carson. And this picture I found, he's chilling out with this owl on his typewriter. And look, he's got his thumb to his chin there. I mean, that's just a great example of like how these people work. Like they put these little subtle. It's just this big inside game to them, and they know that the unwashed masses have no idea that they sort of have the inside track, and they're just all winking at each other all the time. Um, and that thumb thing there, if you think that's a coincidence, here I got this down here. Where is it? Crap. Yeah, Freemason magazine with Kramer, and the subject is Beyond the Symbols, interview with Michael Richards. And yeah, you think that's a coincidence that he's putting his thumb to his chin there and grinning knowingly at the camera? So anytime you see that, you know what you're looking at. Um, but here's a quote from Johnny Carson. If variety is the spice of life, marriage is the big can of leftover spam. So there you go. He's just bashing on um, on marriage. He's just trashing on marriage. And around the time Johnny Carson was the Tonight Show, when it was big, that was like, this was like 70s and 80s. That's when that's when divorce rates were skyrocketing. Um, so, is that a coincidence? I don't know. I mean, he's just one of many of public figures that were sort of, you know, just really indecent people, like unbiblical people going against like God's law. Basically, they hate following God's rules, I guess. So, anyways, Bob McGrath from Sesame Street. I vaguely remember this guy from like um, that would have been like over 20 years ago, but I vaguely remember him. He was like the most uh, long-standing human actor on Sesame Street. So, and they're all through children's programming, of course. They're the ones that came up with the idea of having monsters be friends with you. Like, go figure. So, Seth Meyers, he's the head writer of Saturday Night Live and also one of the main actors. And he's on Time Magazine here with his that little that little finger to your face there, and he's grinning. Like all these are hand signs. Uh, all this is symbolism to their brotherhood. He's doing it again there. He's grinning behind his hand there. Kind of just this creepy grin. Um, and then Rob Riggle, he's an actor on The Daily Show. I recognize him. Yeah, he's doing the throwing the horns here. Like they all love to throw the horns. Um, Sticking his tongue out, looking like a demon, basically. So yeah, great guy, I'm sure. I mean, regular people will like throw horns because they think it's cool or whatever. These guys throw horns because they're initiated and they know what it means. It's their allegiance to their Luciferian brotherhoods. This guy, John Ritter, he was in a ton of movies back in the day. He was, the most I remember him from is the father on Problem Child. And, he's flashing one eye there. Pinky finger extended. That's probably another sign. That star there. And he's with Zach Braff from the other fraternity throwing the 666. He's throwing the horns there too. See, they do it. They like to do it really subtly sometimes, so they're not doing like this, you know, just the cultural like rock out sign. They do these subtle little flashes to people in the know. Um, this dude, what's his name? I didn't write it down his name. But he did that super size me thing, and he's throwing the horns there, of course. All these guys are from the same fraternity. Jack Kerouac of the Beat movement. Um, this was like the precursor to the hippie movement. Um, this was back in like I think it was just somewhere. It was in like the 50s, I guess. Pre-hippies, and Jack Kerouac was like really popular in like colleges, and people think it's like this guy's just like this grassroots poet or whatever that just inspired a lot of people, but he comes out of like an elite brotherhood, a Masonic brotherhood, and he starts this whole culture. He starts laying the groundwork for this whole hippie culture thing, you know. the whole like Jack Kerouac on the road, uh, all that stuff. Just living, being free, a free spirit roaming across the countryside or whatever. He's like playing bongos here on the sidewalk, like, and people like worship this guy. Like kids in college, are like, wow, this guy is like, he's got the secret. He's figured it all out, and that sort of movement led to the whole hippie movement. And the whole hippie thing is completely controlled by like um, psychological institutions, military research, and all that stuff. That's a whole other subject, but you should look into like Laurel Canyon for that. Anyways, Brian Lamb, founder of C-SPAN, you know, and here he is. He's in the middle. He's hanging out with his buddies here, and you can see one of his friends is doing this inverse triangle there. They like that sign a lot. So yeah, that's where C-SPAN comes from. And then next we got Tau Kappa Epsilon. And if you look them up, they're admitted to be a Freemasonic brotherhood or a direct evolution from Freemasonry. And you can see at the top here you got the skull up here. So there's your like, yeah, they love their skulls. It's a creep show. And first we got Eric Bloom, the lead singer of Blue Oyster Cult. He's got a little cross pendant there. I don't know what that is. But yeah, Blue Oyster Cult. They were like a huge, the "Don't Fear the Reaper" song. They were really big in the like 70s, I guess. Um, yeah, so you'll have like these, people look at these guys and they're like, oh, these are just like some, uh, you know, just regular people who got together and made music. But all of these bands, they'll look all grungy and down and out or whatever. But you'll find that probably all these guys they come from from Freemasons. So this is one small example. I found like tons of music that you wouldn't expect to come from Freemasons, but they do. They just they're really good at crafting this image, and they create the culture. They create the fashions and styles that the masses emulate. Um, I mean, whenever you see like a new style of clothing appear in society, it's because these people created that culture and had you mimic it. I mean, that's just how it works. There's nothing like things don't happen like grassroots, very rarely. Anyways, Merv Griffin, he created Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune. Like, I think those are like the two most popular game shows on TV. I used to watch these like every night because they were like the only thing that was on TV at night because we didn't have cable at the time. Yeah, Wheel of Fortune. It's like that's some subtle form of sun worship, I think. And they always got these sunbursts coming out. Then you got Willie Nelson. Again, like you look at this guy and you're like, oh, he's just, this good old boy from the South or whatever. He He's like the last guy you'd expect to come out of this elite Masonic group, but I mean they're masters at crafting that image. You know, they know what people will identify with, and yeah, Willie Nelson comes from that. He's a Freemason. Elvis Presley came from the same group, and yeah, talk about culture creation. They used him to like open the floodgates on all sorts of basically the rock music scene, and then the Beatles came in right after him. This is just one wrestler I found. I forget his name. His stage name is The Big Show in WWE. So they have lots of wrestlers too. Wrestling is just, man, so many people that just they worship that stuff. It's crazy. Like when I was growing up, so many kids in my school were just obsessed with wrestling. It's crazy. Of course, now people are obsessed with MMA, UFC stuff. And yeah. All right, next one. Sigma Alpha Epsilon. You got the sun right here, their Luciferian light. Fleur de Lis, their Phoenix Rising, their Templar Cross. It's kind of low res, it's hard to make out the stuff. I think that's another like lamp light or something. Um, there's like, I just saw tons of people that work at ESPN. A lot of hosts and the producers and all the big wigs at ESPN. Like ESPN is the worldwide leader in Masonic sports. Like they're all Masons at ESPN. It's crazy. Um, yeah, Terry Gilliam. He was in the whole Monty Python thing. I used to love this movie, The Holy Grail. He's doing this weird chin thing there, and he's got the 666 with his other hand. You know, you'd think this is just some weird. He's being weird if you didn't know it, but no, he's just flashing a gang sign to his Luciferian Brotherhood. And he's doing another one here. Um, you know, oh, I'm just gonna tilt my glasses just for the camera, just because it looks cool. It's like, no, that's a 666 he's making there. He's he's just staring all creepy at the camera at the same time. He's flashing the horns there. Um, he also he directed Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. So, yeah. Fred Savage, you know, huge child actor. He was in a bunch of stuff. Um, Wonder Years, all sorts of stuff. David Spade. This guy's such a goon. He's flashing the horns there. He's doing another sign there with I don't even know what that is. It's just a weird hand sign there. Knows what he's doing though. And flashing the horns again there. Bo Bridges, he was pretty big, um, like in the 80s, early 90s, I think. But he's doing that thumb under the chin look there, pretty obvious. He's doing it again there. Like I said, that's it's not a coincidence. I mean, that's not just something they do. That's a deliberate act. Um, Richard Kind, he's in tons of stuff. I think this is from Spin City. He's throwing a little sign there. Next we got Sigma Chi, and if you look them up, they broke off of this other group, Delta Kappa Epsilon. So these are like the same. This is the same group basically, and you can see Delta Kappa. They're like they got the Egyptian wings of Horus, the serpents coming out of the sun disk, the eye, the Luciferian eye with the sun rays. It's like, man, just straight up, this is Babylon. I mean, this is Babylon in your face. That's what it is. Same religions from thousands of years ago, and they just veil it all in all these. Man, if a Mason is talking to you, he's BSing you. If you go to forums and you watch Masons how they respond to things, just complete BS, like constantly. They're just like they're so deceived. It's crazy. Um, Cross keys there, these hearts and chains, like everything on here is some occult symbol. But anyways, Sigma Chi, they still got the key here in a bird, and yeah, it's funny. Here's another group, Widespread Panic. It's the name of the group. They're like this really popular jam band, like hippie jam band, sort of, I guess. Here's a shot of them on stage. So they're supposed to be, this wild, trippy jam band, I guess. I've never heard them, but you can see like their look, I guess. Here's a here's a group picture of them. Um, and look at these. They got these those birds on the pillars. And I don't this. I think they're in like their Masonic hall here. It's a pretty crazy looking building. Like symbolism everywhere. But yeah, I think the lead guitarist comes out of Sigma Chi. That's why I have him here. And just look at their logos. Every one of these logos they're just throwing sun symbols at you. And remember, this is coming right out of this Delta Kappa. This is what these people come out of. So it's just like they're worshiping the sun, or the sun god, Lucifer, the sun god. And you got like, all right, there's a sun. These are all widespread panic logos. There's another sun, layers of sun symbolism. Uh, there's a sun there. Here's like a big sunburst with their bird in the middle. So they're throwing out their occult symbols and all their uh, in their band stuff. You'd look at this and be like, wow, it's just a wild, trippy symbol of a bird. But no, it's their Sigma Chi bird. it's it's like just like an inside joke. Here's another picture. You got the sun symbol of the letters here surrounding inverted pentagram, of course. Widespread panic. Uh, Weird, creepy mask guy with a sun symbolism over him. Widespread panic. Big sun symbol. Here's your bird, and this is low quality, but this is an eyeball in a scepter here. So I mean, totally Luciferian. Widespread panic. Their owl, of course. Widespread panic. Sunflower. They're just throwing these sun symbols at you. It's just something to be aware of. It's like these people. Yeah, they just love that sun. All right, Sigma Chi. We'll keep going. Brett Baer, popular anchor on Fox News special report with Brett Baer. His creepy face. I think he's doing a little inverted triangle there. You'll see that a lot. Pretty deliberate looking. Greg Gutfeld of Red Eye. This is just one of those stupid pundit shows. All these guys and all these pundit shows, they're all Masons. Um, yeah, this guy's pretty obnoxious, I think. They love to stir up the masses. So you know, they'll get the Fox News people and then they'll get the CNN people or the NBC people, and they'll all have these talking points and fight each other, and it's all complete worldwide wrestling, all fake, and oh, that's such a joke. It's just disgusting for me to even watch like 10 seconds of that stuff. Sometimes they'll like go on each other's shows and duel each other, and it's so stupid. uh, David Letterman, he came out of Sigma Chi. He's like, a high priest of entertainment, like Johnny Carson. Enough said there. David Hartman, he was hosted Good Morning America. So a lot of these people are in these news and entertainment things. And I just thought this guy was interesting because in all their set pieces they were flashing this bird here, like it's just sitting in the background. And I guess they'd say, like, "Oh, that's the American Eagle." And is it the American Eagle or is it the Sigma Chi Eagle? What do you think? What do you think the American Eagle is? The American Eagle is just all of that stuff. Everything on a dollar bill is just occult symbolism. Like, it's like no question. Anyways, so Good Morning America. I think no, I get them kind of mixed up now. I think this is still Sigma Chi. Uh, you got Brad Pitt just throwing the horns there very subtly, putting his hand to his face. Brad Pitt's obviously a huge star. Um, Ben Savage, his Fred Savage was in the other fraternity. He's in this one. Boy Meets World. I used to watch it a lot when I was little. Here's more Fox. Clayton Morris, this guy. So, yeah, lots of news people from this fraternity. Um, Steve Weissman, host Sports Center. This is more ESPN. Yeah, all these sports stations, they love this stuff because people, obviously so many people are just uh, totally hypnotized by all the sports stuff. And when they're not watching games, they're watching these Freemasons talk about the games and hypnotize them with their little symbols and 3D effects that are always flying across the screen and everything. So, yeah, just look at their stage set. Like, their stage sets look like something you'd see if you were like tripping on acid. Like, and they'll do all these crazy like 3D effects, and it's just nuts. And they're flashing things across the screen like every 7 seconds, and because no one has an attention span. Look at that! You got the this nice little sun symbol poking out, and see that circle? You know what that is? That is the Delta Kappa uh, serpent sun here. I guarantee that's why that's there. Another guy, Ty Burrell, same fraternity. He's doing the little thumb on your chin thing there with a knowing grin. He's been in a lot of stuff. He's holding his award for being a Mason, for being a good brother. Clancy Brown, he's been in a lot of stuff. I just put him there because I recognized him. He's doing a weird thing with his hands there, and looks like a weird guy. This guy, Brian Dennehy, he was, what's his name? Tom Callahan on Tommy Boy. Tommy Boy's dad. That's what I remember him from. Clarence Gilliard. He's Walker, Texas Rangers sidekick. Tony Hale. He's been a lot of stuff. He's a Buster from Arrested Development. I used to watch that show. He's flashing his 666 here. Of course, yeah, they want you to think he's just grabbing his tie, but he's being a little too deliberate there with his fingers, raising his eyebrow. You know, it's all just an inside joke. They're just like, they think they're so clever that you don't know that they're flashing these signs at you. There he is, he's kissing his Luciferian reward. His gold idol there. Anyways, let's see. Next is Delta Tau Delta. So Delta Tau Delta. Here's a Luciferian eye again, with its satanic sunbeams radiating out. Got a 7-pointed star here. You see this? I don't know what this is, a harp or something. More stars, and this chevron. I don't know if that's like supposed to be a compass or what. That rope too. It's all occult imagery. It goes back thousands of years. But first up, we got Drew Carey. There's this little knowing thumb and index on the chin there, grinning at you. This is another sign where they put their hand towards their throat area, and you'll see that a lot. See, it's like they're pretending to adjust their tie or whatever, but he gives it away with his hidden hand here. And I have that on some of my other videos. Just look up hidden hand symbols, and there's just like hundreds of people doing them. And he does it again there. So obviously, Drew Carey, he's in an occult Masonic brotherhood. No question there. Will Ferrell, again, we're at Delta Tau Delta we're in. He's doing the finger on the lips. That's a popular sign for don't tell the Mason secrets, I guess. This is kind of a creepy, only one of his eyes is illuminated. He's almost doing like a triangle thing. This is kind of a weird, I think that's probably a sign too, just because it looks so awkward and unnatural. So Will Ferrell's obviously a huge star. Matthew McConaughey, he's in a bunch of stuff. He's throwing the horns there, and he's doing a middle finger here. But he's not like flipping you off. He's just doing a middle finger sign. And this is another one too, like a clenched kind of just like a hand over your chest or torso area, and that looks kind of like it could be just happenstance. But then you look down here, David Schwimmer. He's from the same fraternity, and there's two shots of him doing it. Is he just holding his hand in that awkward position just for fun? Like, no, that's a gang sign. So, there's David Schwimmer. So he's giving the middle finger right to you. So, um, that's funny. So he's got, yeah, those two signs. And up here, you got those two signs. So there you go. REM, I think the lead singer comes out of this fraternity, and this promo picture there, he's got the Masonic check behind him. You know, not really, not very subtle there. REM, but they're a huge band back in the 90s. um, there he is with some weird occult necklace on. He's hiding a finger in his pocket. I don't know if that's a sign or not, but I've seen it on a few different people. REM, he's putting his hand to his neck area. And this is REM, and he's covering one eye. You know, pretty obvious. Here's another REM, kind of this awkward hand to your neck. He's putting a hand to his chin. And, okay, REM, the eye. This is why they do it. Because it's their eye. It's what they were initiated into. It's the Luciferian eye. Where am I here? Oh, I missed some people. Alright, well they're in one of these fraternities. I kind of mixed them together. You got Tom Selleck, Magnum PI, John Wayne. You even got John Wayne in his Shriner hat there. So, no secret there. Woody Harrelson, creepy grin with his thumb on his chin there. This is just some shot from a movie from Zombieland, and there's just a pyramid, weird pyramid in this background scene. And then someone said this door window pattern was a square and compass. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Um, you'll see all the movies that these actors are in. There'll be Masonic imagery like all through it, and like here's Brad Pitt, and you know it's a bathroom with a Masonic checkerboard, of course, and there's tons of different things on YouTube you can look up, and pretty obvious when you see some of the things they hide in movies. So anyways, this is Kappa Sigma. These are two different crests from them. They're into this crescent, and there's the hermetic wand there with the two serpents coiling around the caduceus. And here's your inverted pentagram, your crescent, your nice little skull and bones there. That's so wholesome. Your cross keys, you know, you'll see that stuff at the Vatican. Cross swords. Here's some people. John Driscoll. I don't know who this guy is. He's an actor, but I just got him because he's wearing cross swords and a skull. You know, there's your skull and crossbones. So they'll wear like cartoon versions of their fraternity signs. Chris Harrison, he was on that show The Bachelor. I guess that was really popular. He's doing his necktie thing with his knowing grin. You see all these like diamonds out back of here. Here's a scene from The Bachelor. He's on a Masonic checkerboard, of course. Here he is like standing out in the courtyard, and he's doing this inverted triangle sign that you'll see a lot. You know, very, very deliberate sign. That's not just a casual thing. So still going with Kappa Sigma. Getting into some Nickelodeon here. I used to watch this show all the time, Nickelodeon Guts. It was like a game show. But anyways, Mike O'Malley was like the main host of that. I like he's wearing this jersey and it's number 13, of course. What else would it be? And you got this. I don't know what it stands for, GNS, but you got this Masonic diamond here that you'll see on all the Guts videos. And the show Guts, this it was kind of a trip seeing this because I haven't watched it for like over 20 years. But I mean, look at this. These kids, like the teams, they're like ascending up. They ascend up these steps as they pass each test, and it's like it's so stupid. It's just like they turn their Masonic um, initiation rituals, all their rituals, they turn it into a kids game show. So yeah, they're ascending up the steps, and you got like little pyramids engraved into the steps. Whoa. Um, and then like I guess the finale of the show is you yeah, these kids will like climb up this giant pyramid. It's like a race to get to the top of this pyramid. Um, and grab at the top you grab like this weird looking stone jewel thing. It's just like, yeah. Like that's their enlightenment at the top of the pyramid. That's what they got. Stuff is everywhere. Also, Kappa Sigma, you got Ted Turner. He created like CNN and TBS, another major cable station. He made like Captain Planet. He's just a huge media mogul. He's put out tons of stuff. Major culture creator guy. Nickelodeon, Wild and Crazy Kids. Some host of that came out of Kappa Sigma. Um, yeah. Dennis Haskins. He was what's his name? Mr. Belding of Saved by the Bell. He's throwing his horns there. And this group, Better Than Ezra, I think like I think it's the lead singer, came out of Kappa Sigma, and he's doing like a weird thumb, hand to his face sign there. And this is their band together, and this guy's doing the finger over the lips. He's throwing up the horns there. And this one, someone else is throwing up the horns. That's all Better Than Ezra. And they got this occult star for their logo and the wings there. That's why you always see all those occult symbols on all your rock bands and all your pop music. It's because I always wondered that. Like, I always remember seeing all the symbols on all the CDs that I had when I was younger. And I thought they just chose them because they look cool. It's like, oh no, they chose them because they're actually in those religions that use those symbols. So go figure. Jimmy Buffett, he did like Meet Me in Margaritaville. He did like all this island beach music, like just go to the beach and drink margaritas. That was like his whole thing, um, of like the 80s and 90s, and people like were really into that for a while. Like that's all people wanted to do. I kind of remember that sort of culture when I was growing up. It kind of like phased out as soon as I um, reached adulthood, but I just remember that feeling where all the adults, it seemed like they were all wanted to just wear Hawaiian shirts and go drink margaritas on a beach and you know, just give into the world basically. Just relax, take it easy, don't worry about anything, just go drink on the beach, go surfing. Uh, yeah, it's all part of they're just selling their culture to you. Here's Jimmy Buffett. He's got skull and crossbones covering one eye. I thought that was pretty fitting. And a bird up here looking to the side. And there he is throwing this sign there. And what do we got next? Here's Phi Delta Theta. Um, stars, a sword, knight's helmet, a spear. This is Alex Seropian, and he's the developer of Halo, and he's sitting here, and he's with a friend or whatever, and they're throwing all their gang signs here. Um, so if you might have seen videos of like where people found Illuminati symbols in video games, well, this is where they come from. Uh, they don't get in there because people think they're cool symbols or they want to do it as a joke. They get in there because Masons made the games. So think about it. So Halo, there's like millions of kids addicted to Halo right now. You know how many millions of people are like smoking weed and playing Halo as I speak? Like Halo 4 or whatever. It's just like crazy. These are some Illuminati symbols in Halo. Bungie Aerospace. Bungie's the company. You know, they got their eye in the pyramid. They love this ring too. I've a couple different ideas about what this represents, like the snake swallowing its own tail, or just just a sun symbol. But Roger Ebert, he came out of there. He's got his hand to his face there in this awkward, unnatural looking pose. Um, Richard Kelly, he's a director of Donnie Darko, and I remember watching like the making of the commentary of Donnie Darko, and like Richard Kelly was just, I don't think he had done like anything before this, and I remember thinking at the time like why did this kid direct like a major motion picture with like um, first grade actors like Jake Gyllenhaal and um, a bunch of other guys, and that didn't make sense to me. I was like, why would they just do? Why does this kid that hasn't done anything have this shot to do this? Because Donnie Darko was like a major production, and now it makes sense. He's a Mason, and the Brotherhood helped him out. Here he is talking at Comic Con. This is a major just like a big what do you call it? Just they all of these entertainment people here go and present at these things, speak and lecture at them. And of course, you got the what else? You got the Illuminati eye here for the symbol of Comic Con. It's like all these, they're all in the same brotherhood, all just networking together. And yeah, in Donnie Darko, you got this giant eyeball just sitting in a painting. Just a coincidence, right? Some set designer just thought it'd be cool to have a giant eyeball there. No. Michael McDonald, he was one of the main actors on Mad TV, like one of the stupidest shows in existence. And there he is, chilling out on a Masonic floor with a sun symbol in the background. Like, I thought this was a Photoshop picture, but it's actually like a real picture of his. So, it's just like right in your face sometimes. And there he is, he's doing some weird, awkward middle finger hand sign there. Um, Burt Reynolds, major actor of the 80s, I guess. Here he's got his thumb to his chin. I mean, I think you guys are getting the picture now. You know, this isn't a coincidence. Like every time they put their thumb to the chin, they got this goofy grin at the same time. it's, it's just ridiculous. Um, Let me jump back to David Schwimmer here. He was the dude in Friends. This is like one of the most popular shows, like ranked just under Seinfeld in the 90s. Like everyone was watching this show. And in Friends, you have all these scenes with like they'll have sun symbols in the background, and you got an Illuminati eye right there. So they just load all these things into the backgrounds of their TV shows and movies, and they just flood you with their occult symbols. Um, and then you got John Denver. I'm jumping back fraternities. We're back in Delta Tau Delta now. So he was in Delta Tau Delta. There he is. I don't know if just intuitively I want to say that's a hand sign right there. And the glasses are just like a way to make it look natural. But yeah, John Denver, he's like, oh, he's just some guy from the mountains that picked up his guitar and made music. It's like, no, he's a Mason, and they paved the way for him to be a star. So, yeah, I don't know if I missed anything. That's basically just a tiny sample. And again, this is just, all I did was pick some entertainers that I personally recognize from just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like 9 fraternities. So, and there's like hundreds of these fraternities, or at least dozens. I'm not sure the number, but yeah, you'll have like everyone that's running government, um, everyone that's running academics, like presidents of all the universities. That's kind of obvious. So, uh, people high up in military, all your astronauts, and people with NASA come out of these Masonic bodies, obviously. Um, Everyone in sports, everyone doing the news and journalism, quote, all your major authors, and yeah. Yep, that's Culture Creation 101 for you.